Does anyone object to naming the picnic area at the town beach after Greg Winch?
I would, let's say, provisionally, I have no objection. I just certainly would like Darren to be there before we make the final conclusion. So it's always nice if we have unanimous consent.
Okay. I did talk with him about it, and he had no objection.
I understand. It doesn't. We could bring it up at the end of the month. That'd be fine.
Okay. Well, I wrote a resolution honoring Greg and thanking him for his service to the town. I think it would be appropriate to read it now rather than waiting for the work session. I can.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, naming something like that, I think it's appropriate to read.
Okay. Greg Winch worked for the town of Wilmington for 30 years. During that time, he envisioned and oversaw the creation of a new park, spent tens of thousands of hours mowing, raking, planting, and plowing, and worked to repair many broken water lines. None of that is as important as the impact he made on others. A descendant of the locally famous guide Asher Winch, Greg was born and raised on Springfield Road and attended the one-room schoolhouse on Hardy Road. Greg's parents died when he was young, and his early years were not easy. Other community members helped look out for him, including Bob and Judy Bowen, who helped him get a job working for the town of Wilmington in 1975. In the following years, Greg showed the town that Bob and Judy were correct to believe in him. Greg gradually rose through the town ranks, ultimately becoming park superintendent, deputy water superintendent, and cemetery sexton. During that time, Greg developed a reputation for being intelligent, practical, and extremely careful with the taxpayers' money. He got the most out of the town's equipment to save money, even if that meant he had to work a little harder. At the end of his career, Greg was proud of the fact that he had only used a few different trucks during his decades with the town, using them until their floorboards wore through. Greg worked for 7 different town supervisors and dozens of town board members. No matter what controversy was the talk of the town or what intrigue was afoot, Greg was known for being solid, respectful, and straightforward in his dealings with the town's various elected officials. Elected officials come and go, but the people who keep the lights on, the roads clear, and the water running tend to be in the background, often quietly going about their work with little recognition or celebration. Greg's family remembers him working hard behind the scenes to study for the exams required to run the town's water plant. They also remember him leaving the house in the worst weather to repair broken water lines. And they remember him venturing out onto a frozen Ausable River to rescue Wilmington's 4-legged friends. Many of the milestones of Greg's career are milestones of Wilmington's history. These include the installation of the town's present water plant and the infamous ice storm of 1998, after which Greg spent days working nearly around the clock. Greg was a staple of his community for so many years that 2 current members of Wilmington's town board worked for him or with him during their teens and early 20s. They remember him as very tolerant. Greg's current park superintendent, John Langford, also worked for Greg as a teenager. And Wilmington's deputy park superintendent, Ashton Winch, is Greg's grandson. As Bob and Judy Bowen took on a trusted, almost quasi-parental role for Greg took on that role for later generations of young people. To them, Greg was known for his great sense of humor, for going out of his way to help them out, for his knowledge, perspective, wisdom, and common sense, for his unique ability to sum things up in a few words, and for his insightful advice. Like many, many others, they will miss Greg Winch. Whereas Greg Winch, a pillar of his community and an exemplary public servant for the town of Wilmington for more than 30 years, passed away in March of 2025, be it resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Wilmington, New York, does hereby express its gratitude for Greg's many efforts, seen and unseen, tangible and intangible, for the town and its citizens. Then be it further resolved that a section of town property shall be named Greg Winch Park in honor of Gregory P. Winch Sr., a family man, public servant, and pillar of his community. Be it further resolved that this resolution be added to the permanent minutes of the town board of the town of Wilmington, New York, and that copies of this resolution shall be sent to the family of Greg Winch Sr. I guess I can move this just omitting the second to last paragraph.
Yeah. I have next on the agenda is the dedication of the beach pavilion. Tim had brought up a resolution at the last meeting requesting that the board dedicate the beach pavilion to the memory of Greg Winch. We didn't have a full board, and so we sort of put it off to have some discussion today about it. Anybody have any thoughts? I mean, I'm sort of curious about what this. I know one part in town has been dedicated to Randy Preston, you know, the park, and what we have done historically over the years to honor long-serving town employees who've been. So I don't have a good sense of how this works. So I was hoping we could just discuss what the board members' thoughts are on that.
Well, I think my understanding was the reason Randy got or had a dedication was because he had died in office, is what I understood when all that happened. I think that's how that all took place. I definitely agree we need to honor Greg for all his years of service. As far as dedicating like the pavilion, things like that, I think if we start dedicating spots like that, we're going to run out of places to dedicate to people that do years of service, that do many years of service like he did. Because we have lots of people still alive that do years of community service, dedications, and things like that. I definitely think we need to do something. I don't know if maybe we do at the beach, the park, Heritage Park, some type of maybe a dedication wall or walkway, and maybe people can buy the bricks for their family members that have passed in memory of them, and then those that we dedicate, like for Greg, for the number of years of service, because he not only did 30 years for the town, but he also did dedication for volunteering over and above of volunteering. That we do a plaque, and so that goes as something special for those people that you're dedicating to. So people could do bricks in memory of people, and then the plaque could be something different from those that we are honoring. I don't know if that's maybe another way to do it, because I think we just have so many that do other things along the way that we've run out of places to dedicate as time goes on. So I definitely agree we need to honor people, no doubt about that, because we need to remember them and honor them for what they had done. I definitely agree with that, but that's just my thought on it. I don't know what everybody else's is.
Laura, do you have a thought?
I don't think there's any harm in it. I mean, it is just I think it's a nice honorary tribute. I think there are quite a few places where we could, I mean, we have the park, we have highway employees, we could do something. I don't know. I just don't think it's that, it was a large amount of service. I mean, that's a long time to be in office or to be part of the town.
And I agree with that 100%, but I can think right off my head of 5 firemen that have 45 plus years, 40 plus years, and they also dedicate for all the events. Some of them do training, some of them do mechanic work for our department, some of them do other things. I mean, those are just people there. I can think, like what about the people that volunteer for all the other events we have in town and do all that work, people that just as we come along that are still alive. I mean, I'm just thinking, well, these people, where are we going to honor them at? I'm just trying to think if we did one spot where it would be a dedication to everybody is just what my thought would be. That's where I'm just looking at it.
Derek?
So I agree mostly with Tina, only in the sense of, look, I worked with Greg for 5.5 years. I considered Greg one of my good friends, and he did have 30 years of service with the town, but so did Shirley, and she also just passed. And we're not dedicating an area for Shirley, so I feel like, to start dedicating it to one employee and not another employee, there was a couple reasons that the field ended up getting dedicated for Randy. One, he died in office. Two, Randy was the one that wrote the grant, secured the funds to make that purchase for that property. And he's also the one that had the donations and went to people soliciting money to make that park what it is today with the extra pavilion and the bathrooms and stuff. And that was mostly due to Randy's efforts. And that's the reason that field was. As far as I know, that's the only place in town that has been dedicated to anybody that has any type of significance to it. So, although it's not anything against Greg, and I don't have a problem honoring him in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely not.
Greg did tons for the town. I just think that we need to err on the side of caution as far as putting too much emphasis on one person when there's been plenty of people, and there's still plenty of people that have that many years of dedication to the town.
Tim?
I wasn't talking about the pavilion. I was talking about the picnic area.
Okay.
And calling it
My bad.
Greg Winch Park. But I think, some kind of what you're talking about, Tina, I don't think who could ever possibly object to that. I also agree with Laura that there are plenty of places we can dedicate to different people. And we do have the E.M. Cooper Library. The baseball field is technically dedicated to someone, but those monuments.
Neil Cooper, I think.
Right.
They told me that was, yeah.
Right. So we do dedicate things to people, and I think there are plenty of public areas that could be dedicated to different people. And I've been talking with Shirley's family about what they'd like to see, how they'd like to see the town honor her. I would like Greg's family would like him to be recognized in that way. I see no issue with it, and I think that there are sufficient public spaces for honoring others. And your idea is perfectly fine as well. Who could be against that?
And I'd like to see, like, if we did something like that, and if we could put things out there like that, I'd like to maybe look at putting a brick for like Brandy Lawrence. Things like that had dedicated all those years and stuff. That's what I want to see. I don't want those people to go unnoticed. Those people that work, people like that. I just think people could buy bricks and put them there, so those people are not getting forgotten either. Judy Bowen.
Or Bob Bowen.
Those Bob Bowen.
I
Don and stuff.
I thought we should name the town hall after Judy
Those
Bowen.
people wouldn't be forgotten either. Nick, you worked for years for the town. Those people are not being forgotten either, and those people will be remembered, and those will be there for people to see in years to come. And that's what I would like to see.
Maybe like a clock like they did in Osable.
That's what I'd
That's
like.
what that is.
Something with even if it's a wall or a walkway, something that people would be able to, you would honor people and be able to still see those gone before us and then those coming up. And like you say, those that we are dedicating to, if we're going to recognize and do something, then maybe we do something different in a special different blackway thing if we're going to do something different.
I have no objection to that whatsoever. Greg died recently. I mean, this is what you're talking about is a long-term project, and that's perfectly fine. But all I'm asking for is a plaque at the picnic area at the beach that says Greg Winch Park. That in memory of Greg Winch, public servant, family man, and pillar of his community.
It's effectively naming the park after him.
Bringing up Franny Lawrence, that we have a sculpture honoring Fran Vetters. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with any of that.
They raised that from one of the fishing associations. That wasn't the town that.
But it isn't a public, that's
They got
public
permission to put
property.
it There,
State right away.
What state though?
yeah.
State.
So in any case, I would like, you know, personally, I'm concerned that we've, told you what, Tim? What did you tell him? Okay,
I said that, I didn't think this was gonna go.
thanks. I'm sort of, leery of setting precedents now. And I've had this discussion with people with their hometown heroes flags. Some people have asked that the flags be near the house where the family lives, and then others aren't near it. Well, there's on Bonneview and stuff, and so I would like a certain consistency so that we're fair and even-handed. So there may be other people who, because the town never dedicated public spaces to former employees, that, you know, as I was saying, Bob Bowen, Judy Bowen, they put in a lot of years, but I'd certainly like the town to go through this sort of thoughtfully, because if naming one and then it invites people to ask, well, what about so-and-so? And then we'll have, which is all we decided to go for it one day. So I don't know what the answer is exactly, but
We have a lot of names, we have a lot of roads in Wilmington named after people, and I don't see the harm. It would be meaningful to his family and other people who we want to honor. There are, you know, probably a dozen different ways we can honor other people, and that's, no one objects to that. I just would like to honor Greg in this way.
And I agree,
However-
it's gonna take a while to do it, but let's get started now. Let's find a place that we're going, decide on a place where we wanna do this.
That's, by all means,
okay.
That's my,
take it, you know, take the ball and run with it. That's not my, I'm fine with it. No one would ever object to it, but my purpose and my vision was to name a small park after the superintendent of the Parks Department who worked for the town for 30 years. This other project that will take probably multiple years, like that's a fine project, but someone's got to take the initiative to make that happen.
All right. So we'll revisit this.
Passed away in the past few months. I'd like to make a resolution that we name the picnic area after Greg and the pavilion at the beach after Shirley. I think that'd be appropriate. They both worked for the town for decades, roughly 60 years together. I know their families, their kids want it. I've been contacted about it more than once, and I think it would be completely appropriate to do. So I'd like to make that motion.
Didn't we already talk about this at the work session? I'm not sure why it's getting wrote about that.
Okay, I can respond to that if you like.
Sure,
Does anyone want to second that motion?
I'll second for discussion.
because I thought we already voted on it then.
We didn't. We just discussed it.
Sure we did.
Also, I didn't have the idea of naming the pavilion after Shirley.
Well, so, okay, so there's a second for discussion. We're discussing. Again, I think, you know, we're repeating what we were saying on the last meeting, which is naming things after people is one thing. Setting up, Tina talked about a memorial type of thing, and we could plant trees for people and put plaques in front of them. And there are a lot of other options because we're selecting two longtime employees and then community members and volunteers. But we have people who have passed away long ago who were, you know, equally committed to the community as well. And so I find it sort of, you know, we're naming things now without actually following a particular plan.
I don't think initiating something new is such a bad thing, and it is a long amount of time to be a town employee. And you know, it could be, we could set it for a years of service. You know, if you've served for the town for a certain amount of years as an employee for the town, then that could be something moving forward. And have the memorial spot for someone that hasn't met those years but still has contributed to the town.
I'm going with what I said to begin with. I think we should do some type of a wall walkway or something where we can all honor everybody that do a dedication. I'm going with my original plan.
And like we talked last month, I'm gonna,
I agree that did a lot of service. I agree that they were well respected. I agree 100% that they dedicated a lot of time, but so did a lot of other individuals like Aunt Jane. And the list goes on and on and on. Goes on. I mean, I can go through a whole list and go down right through everybody. I just think that picking one thing and naming it after a person, I just feel that we should be able to do like one spot and dedicate it to everybody and do a memorial that way. And that's my opinion. I just, you know, we have a lot of people that have passed previously, you know, and named lots of people in the past that I think this wall and stuff would be dedicated to as well, that we can remember them as well. I think there's just so many that we can do it that, and that's where I stand.
So we do have a lot of things named after people. I mean, we have Lake Everest, the beaches, Bowman Lane, which is named after a guy who ran a summer camp in Wilmington for a few years. I mean, we're talking about 60 years.
And I wasn't here, I wasn't on this board, I didn't have anything to do with that decision. I'm just telling you what my vote is right now, what I am suggesting. I can't change what happened in the past. I can only make my decision now on what I think and what I feel and what I'm presenting on my end.
Well, we can't, we'll go to a vote when Laura gets back.
I just also, well, there are so many, if we think that other people should be honored and future boards think that other people should be honored, you know, we have this room, we have the town offices, we have the community garden, we have the park building, we have the skate park, the playground, the basketball court, tennis court, pump track, Park Road, Heritage Park, Visitors Bureau building, the bridge, the dam pocket park, the beach itself, the beach playground, the boat launch and public fishing area, Juniper Hill Road, Indian Rock Road, Hollow Lane, Pine Ridge Road, Rocky Ridge Road, Reservoir Road, Mountain Lane Road, Osable Run
They all have
Lane,
names.
Church
He's got it listed down
They're
there.
all
so-
names.
and all the
All have
multi-use
names.
trails. So, what's that?
Well, you're naming off roads that have names.
They're not named after people. If we want to honor people, that is a long list, and that is a list I came up with in probably 15 minutes of things we could name after particular community members.
so we change a road name to honor somebody that had nothing to do with the road. I'm completely confused.
So I just feel at this point, this is just nitpicking. You know, there's one argument advanced where we think other people should be honored. I'm saying if we want to honor other people, there's a lot of things we can name after other people. And
This is a board decision that we're making.
No, yeah, okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No, which is us. Thank you, Colin. Okay, let's do a roll call then.
okay, yes,
I need to know what the resolution is first. I was
to name the picnic area at the beach, Greg Winch Park, and to name to put a plaque on the pavilion in honor of Shirley Lawrence with text to be determined at a future meeting, the additional text. And
Okay.
The text for Greg would be in honor of a public servant, family man, and pillar of his community. And similar text for Shirley.
Okay, so you're making it, Tim?
Yes.
Laura seconded. Roll call vote.
Okay, Tim,
Yes.
Darren,
No, and I would like a chance to explain because I wasn't even able to talk really during that. I'm gonna go along with Tina because, you know, there's hundreds of people, you know, Franny Lawrence for one, Calvin Stevens, Nick Stevenson. There's 3 people that have relatives right in this room that weren't honored in any such way. And I don't understand why we would get into the point of naming certain areas after certain people when there's been many other deserving people. You know, I would be willing to, for example, something similar to Tina's idea where we have the beach pavilion and there's, 8 poles on it. And for each employee that's served a certain amount of time, put a brass plaque or something on each one of those poles and list it down. And we'd have plenty of room to do something like that. But I'm not in favor of changing names of our park areas at this time. So no.
I think we can.
Yep.
I think we can do both.
Laura?
If we're speaking about our vote, I'm going to say yes, but I'm also going to say, just because it's just being brought up now doesn't mean we can't go backwards in time and, name things after people who have put in. I mean, there's no reason we can't go backwards and say, also this is a request of a family member or family members of this person. It's, not some arbitrary request. It's a pointed request. So I stand by my vote.
Tina? No. Ever?
No.
Okay,